Channel, and let's talk about it, man, because I'm ready. The Steelers getting Mike McCarthy as their new head coach. What does this mean for the Steelers? Does it change anything for the Steelers? No, it does not. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm surprised that Mike McCarthy was even considered for the head coaching spot. I didn't think that it was going to even happen. I heard that they were interviewing him. I'm like, all right, they're just testing the waters. I didn't think they were actually going to sign McCarthy. And then I get a message on Saturday, I believe it was in the afternoon, saying that Mike McCarthy signed, or it might have been in the morning because we're here on the West Coast. And I was shocked. I'm like, wow. Out of all the candidates, honestly, guys, I thought he was the worst out of the candidates that the Steelers were considering. Why do I put that in quotations? Because as soon as the Steelers got done with the Rooney Rule, that's when they signed Mike McCarthy. It took 11 days for the Steelers to get a new head coach. It was so rushed. For no apparent reason, by the way. I have no idea why they rushed it. I didn't hear any sort of rumblings that Mike McCarthy was favored to be a head coach anywhere else. Did he even have an interview anywhere else? I genuinely don't know. I thought he was done with coaching. Seriously. So it was like so rushed for no reason. Okay. And apparently, Shieldhouse and Shula, the two guys from the Rams organization, they bombed their interviews with the Steelers. I'm not buying into that. And I think they say that they bombed it because they were giving the organization what they didn't want to hear. They were probably telling them, hey, man, we're going to step into the 21st century if I'm going to be the head coach. And the Steelers are like, no. That can't happen. Probably the rebuild word was thrown out there as well. Because of the current situation, because they're not going further. They're not going up. They're just staying still. They're just coasting. That's all the Steelers are doing. They're not making any real noise. Sure, they might get into the playoffs, but they're not doing anything in the playoffs. Do I expect that to change under Mike McCarthy? No, I don't. Why? Because he has a track record of doing the same thing that Steelers are currently doing, which is not performing well in the playoffs. And yes, he does have that one Super Bowl ring. So did Mike Tomlin very early into their head coaching careers. But you can make an argument that they probably could have and should have had more Super Bowls under their belt, especially with Mike McCarthy having prime Aaron Rodgers. And Mike Tomlin did have the killer beast. They didn't even make the Super Bowl. So I don't think this changes anything with the Steelers. And this tells me that the Steelers organization is comfortable just coasting in mediocrity. I know, maybe we'll get a playoff spot because we're competing. Even though when we get to the playoffs, we're always find ourselves losing by 3 digits at some point in the game, maybe lose by only 2 digits, which is, I don't see how that's really competing, but, the Steelers organization sees it differently. I don't think that's really competing. I didn't see the last, 5 or 6 playoff games that the Steelers have been in. I didn't see it as, oh, yeah, they're competing. Oh, yeah, they are so close from getting a Super Bowl. I didn't see any of that from the last couple of appearances that the Steelers have had in the playoffs. Not even close. And when you're in the situation that you're in, it's necessary to rebuild, man. And the Steelers are so afraid to rebuild or to fail, whatever you want to call it. Because they're just complacent. I don't think this team really cares about getting another Super Bowl. I don't. Under the current situation, it just seems like they're fine with where they're at. So there's not really much else to say. Although I do think Mike McCarthy is going to try to bring it. He's definitely going to do his very best to try to get the Steelers that 7th ring. That, at least you can say, he's going to try to bring some passion, because I saw passion in that press conference. But it's not a feel-good story, guys. or it is a feel good story. But just because it's a feel good story doesn't mean it's going to end well. Why? Because it's not a book. It's not a movie. It's not Hollywood. So I don't know why the stories are relying on this storybook ending type stuff. They did the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, which, hey, look, man, Aaron Rodgers did a lot better than I thought he was going to do as a Steelers quarterback. As far as bringing him back, I know they're flirting with that and bringing him back. I just don't think it's the right move for the Steelers, man. I honestly, guys, honestly thought the right decision for the Steelers was to start Will Howard. And if you have a down season, so be it, man. So be it. Nobody is expecting you to have a above 500 season. Nobody's expecting you to do that anyways. And if Will Howard's not the guy, then you get to learn whether or not he's not the guy. And then you go from there. And then that will guarantee you a high draft pick the next season or the next draft. But no, they're going to still try to compete or whatever. I don't see things changing, guys. I don't. And I want to be wrong. I want to be proven wrong. But there has been nothing the past few years that have proven me wrong with this Steelers team. You know, they've changed a lot of things, but a lot of things have stayed the same. So how are things supposed to change? Especially when you get a guy that has a very similar track record to the previous head coach. Okay. I genuinely thought this team needed a head coach for the future and a quarterback for the future. And it seems like they just refuse kind of to do that, because I think they will try to bring in a quarterback at some point with Mike McCarthy. But we'll see. We'll see. What do you guys think about this head coaching signing? Do you guys like it? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? I'm just kind of in the middle of it. It's just whatever's. No, I don't think the series is going to be terrible this year. Okay, but that's probably also part of the problem. Okay, because if they're not going to be terrible, they have to be at least better than what they were, and I don't think they're going to be better than what they were. So that's really all I got, man. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys later in the week. I do think we're going to drop a video about Championship Sunday and I guess a preview to the Super Bowl, maybe. I don't know. But I'll catch you guys later in the week, man. And regardless, go Steelers.